My name is Anne from OmFlowYogi.com, and today we will be discussing 8 questions to help you navigate life's challenges. Now, normally I work supporting prenatal and postnatal individuals, but this honestly is helpful no matter what life situation you're in, especially considering we're in the middle of the pandemic right now and everything else going on in the world. You're most likely experiencing challenges. And some of these key questions will support you in your journey. What we know for sure is that life happens, things are complicated, and we can't predict the future. Self-discovery tools will help us build a toolkit unique to ourselves to better navigate some of those life challenges. So what I'm going to present to you today are 8 questions that you can ask yourself and journal, so that way when you find yourself in a challenging situation, you can dig into that self-discovery to go, oh, I'm feeling this way. This is what will help me feel better. So that hopefully, even though we can't control the world around us, we can better understand what we need to serve us in that moment. So with that, let's dive in. The first question I ask a lot of my prenatal students, but it's helpful for anyone, is when you can't sleep, what helps you feel better? Because when we are feeling hyper stressed, when we're going through a lot of transitions, when we are working through challenges, sleep is one of the first things that starts to suffer. And we can really get into our headspace of, oh my gosh, I'm not sleeping, I should be sleeping, and then go down into a non-productive rabbit hole. So before we get there, ask yourself, when I can't sleep, what helps me feel better? Maybe it's listening to a sleep meditation. Now, a lot of my clients are prenatal individuals, and so once they get into postnatal, they don't feel comfortable. So then I advise just have one earbud in so you can still hear baby and be present, but have something to ground you and to help calm your body. Maybe it's massage. So I love to massage my hands, my feet. Maybe it's a smell, lavender. Maybe you don't do well if you're staying in the bed. And it's better if you get out of the bed, read for a little bit, reset, and then put yourself back into your bed. So ask yourself, when I can't sleep, what helps me feel better? Even if I can't find sleep, it still calms my mind and helps me feel centered. Question number 2. When I am overwhelmed, this helps me feel centered. It's good to know when you start to get to a boiling point and life starts to take over a little bit. So what helps you feel good and brings you back into center when you're starting to feel overwhelmed or you're just full on overwhelmed? Taking a deep breath is always helpful. Grounding yourself in your physical body. I can feel my feet. I understand I'm feeling overwhelmed. Even maybe acknowledging how you're feeling is a really good step. But then ask yourself, what else helps you feel better? Is it talking to someone? Is it reading something? Is it going away from whatever is overwhelming you? What helps you? And this is where I'd encourage you to realize that no one's the same. Everyone is going to have a different answer to this, and be okay with writing some things down and trying it, and then, oh, that worked for someone else, not for me, going back to the drawing board. Third question, when I am stressed, this helps me calm down. So you might think that overwhelmed and stressed are the same, but they are a different experience. So to describe it, when I am overwhelmed, it just feels like there are a lot of tasks and I need to organize myself more. But when I am stressed, that might feel like a lot of outside stimulus. So your answer might be the same, it might be different. Try it on. When I am stressed, this helps me relax or feel more in center. So what is it for you? It might be the same of the deep breath, feeling your feet, but when I am stressed, sometimes I need physical exertion. I need to go for a walk, a run. I need to lift. Now, if you are prenatal, know that your postnatal self won't be able to move in the same ways, and that's okay. So maybe it's simply going for a slow walk is what you need at that time. But if physical is important to you and you're stressed, plan that out. Have that in your list. Number 4 is one of my favorite ones to ask my prenatal students. When I am sick, this helps me feel better. And the reason why I love this so much is that it is unique, but there are little things that we can put in our environment to help us mentally and emotionally navigate something when we're not feeling well. So an example, my mom always gave me orange juice and ginger ale when I wasn't feeling well. And even though there's no scientific part of that would make me feel better, I feel better when I drink it. And so when I was prenatal and feeling yucky and nauseous, or in my postpartum time, when I just wasn't feeling well, I would have that orange juice and ginger ale and go, oh, I felt like my mom was there taking care of me. And half the time she was, because I was very blessed. But asking yourself, what helps you feel better when you're sick? Do you like people to be around you? Do you like to be alone? Are there certain foods that help you? Are there certain things in your environment, certain smells that help you feel more comfortable? So the last 4 questions are open-ended, and I encourage you to write it down, journal as much as you can, and play with it, and apply this into your life and validate, is this true or not? So the first one of the 4 open-ended, I feel supported when. So I feel supported when people listen to me, when I have things in my environment that make me feel comfortable, when I make decisions and it's acknowledged. What makes you feel supported? Next question, I feel loved when ... I love the book, The 5 Love Languages. Now it is rooted in the Christian faith, so only navigate that if that feels good and safe to you. But it really points out the fact that we all express love in different ways. So for me, it's acts of service. When someone unloads the dishwasher, I feel so loved. And it's really dumb, but, and also I'm the type of person that needs to hear words of affirmation. So I need to hear, you are wonderful and I appreciate you and I love you. And not just that, but like, I see what you did and that made an impact. That means a lot to me. Other people, it's gifts. They like little gifts, little reminders. Other people, it's quality time. So they want to be with someone, undivided attention, phones down. I'm looking at you, I see you. Others, it's physical touch. I'm like rubbing your back, I'm hugging you. So ask yourself, what helps you feel loved? The next 2 may feel the same, so I'm gonna pitch it out to you at the same time. I feel strong when, and I feel confident when. So you can bring them in together, or they can be very different. Strong, it might be important to you to feel physically strong, but mentally and emotionally strong is different as well. And confident, I feel the most secure and centered in my skin and my body when. So for an example, strength is really important to me, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. And I feel strong when my voice is heard, when I am respected, when I can move my body in certain ways, or I'm seeing progress. So in my postpartum self, that is hard for me. That's a really challenging space to navigate. So I needed to be aware of that and then remind myself, I feel strong when I see progress, or I am witnessing the amazing things that my body can do. So even though I couldn't run the way I did before, I created life. I was feeding my baby. I was strong enough and resilient enough to wake up in the middle of the night and to care for my baby. And how can I relabel that strength? So even if you're not in that stage of your life, maybe you're injured. Maybe you're going through a space where physically strength isn't as possible as it was before. Ask yourself, are there other ways for me to feel strong in this moment? Can I feel strong in the fact that I'm navigating a lot of challenging things and I'm still here? I'm still focused on what I can do to support myself. Clearly, because you're watching this video. I feel confident when. So let's start talking about that. Confidence is so important when navigating uncertainty. So even though we can't control the world around us, when we feel confident that we are doing the best we can to show up every day and to be our best self, we are going to handle it a lot better than if we just feel overwhelmed, falling apart, and not confident in ourselves. So what helps you feel confident? Maybe it could be something silly like, I really like this shirt. Great. Use that. Maybe it's, I feel confident when I understand my values and I know that I'm existing in those values. Amazing. Ask yourself that. What makes you feel confident? So there you have it, the 8 questions I recommend you ask yourself to help you navigate any challenging life situation. So what do you do with this? So you have your journal, you understand what helps you feel more centered, and then you're in a moment where things are challenging. The first thing we need to do is bring awareness. So you can start mindfulness practice, an awareness practice. That always helps. I have a video on an introduction to meditation, why it's important and how you can easily integrate it into your life if you'd like to watch that video. But then just bringing awareness, and the moment you're like, I don't feel strong, I don't feel confident, I can't sleep, I am struggling, I'm not feeling well, go back to your journal, go back to the wisdom that you learn from that self-discovery and integrate it into your life. And know that we cannot control the outside world, but we can use the tools to support our internal world so that way we can proceed with a little bit more balance, love, and support. So if you are a prenatal individual, a postnatal individual, or anyone interested in supporting someone during that time period, I have a free ebook that goes through these questions as well as 5 other steps to support birth as well as the first year of parenthood. So I welcome you to go to omflowyogi.com, download it for free. Really, my goal is to make internal work just as readily available as the external work for all populations. I have some other really exciting videos coming up about birth support, first year of parenthood support, a fantastic practice about releasing expectations, which would be helpful for all populations. So hopefully you subscribe, hit that bell so that way you get the notifications whenever new videos pop up. And in closing, may you feel safe, may you feel loved, may you feel supported. Thanks for joining me today.